Hiya, 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 hiya. Let's get this out of the road. There we go. So, yeah, I've got a few things going today. One of which is, sorry, I'm just cleaning up. There we go. I posted 2 pages today. The reason that I posted 2 pages today is that I just couldn't decide whether this color version or the black and white version resonated better. And there's just, I like the black and white, and there's a lot of energy in the line, and there's a lot of energy in the tone, but it's just something about these the gray and white mixes and the purple pencil I was using, that I really enjoy that, but I tend to enjoy the color page, but some people just prefer the straight black and white, so that's why I showed both. And the suggestion was a person, man having flashbacks, and that was from Dale. Thank you very much, Dale, for the suggestion. We got another cool suggestion in there yesterday during the stream, Sasquatch Civil War. That came from Salty Snacks, and so I've added that to the book. And a suggestion that came in this morning was The Adventures of P&M. And that's in relationship to P&M Art Studio. So I'll be doing that on Friday. So anybody that is familiar with Patricia and Mariah and their studio and their stencils and there's just their effervescence, tune in, because on Friday I'm going to try to do justice to them in the portraits. So that'll be then. There's 2 things I've been listening to today. The Idols Band, Adles Band. And if you want a little bit of pep in your step, there's a great band to listen to. And of course, the other band I've been listening to is The War on Drugs. And the album is A Deeper Understanding. Okay, so let me switcheroo. Oh, I got another piece of exciting news for you. There's the new logo for the new book. And because you've been so well behaved so far, there's the cover image of the new book. So just finishing up all the things I need to be doing on this in order to put this out. And, working up the back cover as well. And there'll be text and stuff going on that. And a picture of probably Corbin. And, yeah, but a lot of fun. All right, so, and then we've, of course, changed the title up a little bit for what we're doing here on the stream. We're calling it the One Page Story Extravaganza Showcase. So, all right, let's go to the overhead camera. Now, I've got some big sheets of black construction. It's basically a construction paper. And I've been doodling a little bit, just testing out how the paper takes to pencil and how. So I've got some tools set up. I'll show you what I've been, looking at incorporating today. And what I've got is pencil. This is a pastel pencil, like a Conte. A little black pencil crayon there. White Posca pen, white Jelly Roll pen. I got a China marker. Old Derwent's going to be in on the action. And so is my Uli. A little black line there. I've got good old standby brush here and a couple of other fun little bits. There's some sponges that I've got for doing some tamping like I did in the last page. And I've got the Winsor & Newton inks that I used in the last page as well. The difference is on today's page, I got a little titanium white, and if I'm going to put some of these mixed tissue papers and stuff and incorporate them into the image, I've got some matte medium and some white gesso as well. So I think we're ready to cook. Now, the reason that I'm not doing this first is that the matte medium complicates the drawing because it resists too much, and it resists the the pencil crayon and the China marker, and I'm not going to have it. So that's why I've got that set up in the way as I do. Now I've got a couple of pieces of this grippy business, and I'm going to put it down here on the side and see if I can get my pencils to stay in place, because I was asked yesterday, I switched tools too fast apparently, and is it possible to show what tools that I'm using? So that's why I've shown you those at the start of things, and we'll see how this goes through the stream. You guys gonna? Yeah, it's okay. So they'll stick around. Great. And I've got a little ruler here at the bottom on the side, and this is a piece of foam core that I have along the side here, which keeps a nice smooth little abutment going on for me knowing where the limit of I want that page centered. So okay, so with all these things in mind, I am going to get cracking here on this composition. Now, today's suggestion is, I wrote it down, a man who's traveled anywhere. This is a bunch of the suggestions that came through during the Comic-Con. So, I'm looking forward to this one. It's, going to be a lot of fun. But, okay, and this is Tyrone who gave me this one. I don't have Tyrone's last name for an initial, but, and actually it says a person who's traveled anywhere. A person, whoops. I am trying to learn how to type. Comments. Here we go. Traveled everywhere. There we go. And I'll put this up on the screen. There we go. So there's today's suggestion, a person who has traveled everywhere. Okay, and so I'm not going to draw it on this sheet of paper. This is just me fussing about here and seeing what marks that I can make and what surface. Just for those that might be interested, this is the final page of the story that I posted today. There's this. What I was saying yesterday is that I really do want to do all, the art, the original art pages, nice and uniformly on one sheet of paper, as opposed to different panels that get moved around and resized, and force myself to grow a little bit more that way. Yeah, come on, Chris, get growing. Said no one ever. I'm just going to try to move my chair up. Hello. Oh my goodness, I'm almost at the ceiling. Anyhow. All right, so we've got a person who has traveled everywhere. So I've got, I'm putting a character in and going to make it nice and silly. So here's my thought. If I put a central character, now in the last so many pages, I've done text, like image moving the text so it moves this way, or images moving the text so it goes this way. If I place the central character, or if I place the character to the center, then and put sort of side panels around them, it'll give this sort of jumping back and forth play. And I'm looking forward to giving this a try. So we'll see how it goes. At the very least, let's get our everywhere traveler put in here. What shall we? Why not, Christopher? Well, thank you very much. Somebody had mentioned with the changes that, I'm not in camera as much because honestly, it's not that important. But somebody had mentioned, why not? Because you don't need to see this old gorilla, this old baboon, this old chunk of coal. That way I can grow a beard. I can't grow a beard. Okay, so I'm building up our character here. Now I can pull in. Hi, Linda, welcome aboard. Let me switch to the overhead camera. Whoops. Get the camera moved. Whoops. Again, I'm trying to figure out these doodad cameras, and it's a real treat, let me tell you. Okay, so here is a closer shot on the image that I'm drawing, and then I'll pull back out occasionally so you can see how it is in the larger layout. But so our person who has traveled everywhere is the intention for our story here. A couple fun things coming up this week. I don't know what day. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, wow. Thursday, my good friend Doug Rogers, the artist, is going to be joining me here in the studio. Really looking forward to hanging out with Doug. We've been running the London Comic Jam together since 2015, and great guy, fantastic artist, fantastic writer, and good guy all around. So he'll be here in the studio, and we'll be talking process, and we'll be talking about, if there's one thing that Doug has a fantastic assessment of, is allowing yourself to just go for it. Let go of your hangups and your concerns about not doing it right or not being up to snuff or any of that stuff, and let's just start making some marks. And he's always equivocating this to young people that join us at the jams. So it'll be fun to hear him a little bit here. And then on Friday, the suggestion that came in about doing a page on the adventures of PNM, Patricia and Mariah from PM Art Studios, is what I'll be doing here in the stream on Friday. So that'll be fun. No pressure there, though, eh? A challenge anytime you're doing real people in pages in your stories is that you don't want to disservice them. You don't want to, do an unflattering image of them. But at the same time, you want to have the ability to tell whatever you want to tell in your story. But I think they're very open-minded and will be all right with me being a little bit silly. So anyhow, I'm looking forward to doing that on Friday. They do a number of different stamps and the like. Stencils and things like that. And I think stamps as well for jelly plating, and very creative ladies. Mother and daughter. Okay, so I'm starting with the pencil crayon, and I'm trying to build up a weary traveler image. So I got the furrowed brow, and I'm going to put all kinds of Guga around him. Am I still? Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm still in frame. Right now, it looks like his head is grossly disproportioned. But that's because we're going to put some stuff around that big old noggin of his. Now, I've got some different tools here to add in some different strengthened whites in the shapes that I'm putting down. So I'll be utilizing some of these. But at first here, I'm just sort of cutting out what I can with just a regular old pencil crayon. Trying to find a whole bunch of shape and a whole bunch of value. So no point in getting everybody invited to the dance if we haven't got the music started to play, right? Who said that, Chris? I did. And if you like that, you can sign up for my new book, 1001 Ridiculous Sayings. It comes from a goofball artist. So I'm going to put a belt strap in there because we're going to put a bag over his head. Uh-oh. I was just talking about you. I was just talking about how great your channel is and all the things that you guys do. And that on Friday, I'll be drawing your suggestion. So brace yourself. And like I was saying, I hope that it's, not going to hurt anybody's feelings. So in drawing the World Weary Traveler, I've pulled up a bunch of little resource squares of... I knew it. You're welcome. You said you're welcome so far. I'm so excited. I was just listening to that song. Anyways, I had 80s tunes playing earlier in the studio here. And I'm so excited it came on, and I don't care how old I get, I still like that song. Okay, so yeah, and then Doug Rogers that I was mentioning is going to be joining me on Thursday here in the studio, so that's exciting. Okay, so I've also got on the side here, and I was saying this earlier on, I've got a bunch of different papers and tissues that I am going to be putting into the composition. I want to get the lines down. I want to get the basic penciling in first before I start applying that, because the matte medium that I tend to use to adhere these things down, it can really interfere with pencil crayon finding some kind of tooth. So we'll be doing that in just a second. So I'm just drawing this fellow wearing his, I'm not entirely sure what kind of bag it's called, but it's, it's basically just a little haversack is one of the ways that I've called it. And little side bag, a man bag. A friend of mine calls it a man bag. It's a purse, buddy. It's a guy purse. What do you want? It's not. I keep my stuff in there, like my wallet. Women don't carry wallets. That was a terrible conversation. So I'm just putting the shapes, the structure of what I'm drawing in here. Bear with me. I know it's taken forever. And then we'll build up our shape volume here. But he's so tired he doesn't want to carry his bag anymore. He's just wearing it on his head, and it's also working on some cover from the sun. A gurse. I've never heard that before. A gurse. A man purse. A man bag is a gurse. Guy purse. Love it. What do I got? I got Let's do another one over here. A bit of texture. We'll build this up. Okay, so, and then we've got this structure. We'll add this, we'll bring all this together now. There we go. It looks a little really ridiculous right now. Gers is better than a Merce. That's true. I have heard Merce before, but I've never heard Gers. And honestly, I do like Gers. For some reason, it sounds Seussian. Is that a word yet? Something being as like Dr. Seuss, Seussian. Why can't they do that? We've come up with Orwellian. So I got a little bit of shadowing going on around his eyes. I'll play this up a little bit, just to try to put across that he is tuckered out. A tuckered out fella. Burton-esque. It's Burton-esque. Fantastic. Caravesque. Rembrandt-esque. Who knows? There's so many different terms that we could probably fit into the cultural zeitgeist, the lexicon of referentiality. Okay, so now I'm going to bring a strap across his face. Why not? And so this is really kind of like an undervalue that I'm sort of drawing things up with and leaving big spans out. So I better start filling some of these spans, but again, undervalue, right? Because I want to punch some of these whites, so that they're just popping up from the surface. And move this down a tiny bit. There we go. Izzy loves the Disney princesses that are drawn in the Burton-esque style. I haven't seen these. Unless they're incorporating Tim Burton's oeuvre into his Disney bought Burton's catalog. But no, I haven't seen those. I have to look those up. I really enjoyed collecting with my grandkids the Disney Infinity figures. I really liked the style of those. And another thing that I really like is I got this great adaptation of the Star Wars films by Matasucci, I think it is, the Spanish or Italian artist, and I really, really like his style. I'll have to pull one down and show it in a few moments, just to show people that might not have been exposed to it. But he illustrated the entirety of the 6 films and the sequels, plus Rogue One, plus Solo, in sequential form, and they're just fun. It's just pure animated style energy in the line, and when somebody's running and their legs almost bending forward, such fun. Warning, your YouTube will go princess drawing real fast. That would be cool to see. I feel like I have seen that or heard about it. Well, hold on. I got it right here in the library. So just give me a second. They're really wonderful. Okay. So here are a couple of them. I'll pull out my other camera here so that it's easier to see. There we go. So this is, we've got, there we go. There's the original trilogy, and you can just see the energy in the line here as just even the C-3PO standing has this arc movement to him. But it's really fantastically stylized and beautifully drawn. And I have a whole team that worked on the book. But the core artist is Matteo Piana and Igor Chimiso. The other artist I was thinking was on a different book. I'm so sorry. Igor Chimiso and Matteo Piana. Fantastic artists. And so they've done the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and it has just the same level of style and effort and beautiful pacing. And then on top of that, I never got all of these, but they did Solo. There's well, here, look at this image. There's of Chewbacca just standing there with his legs spanned and just this sort of looping energy. Like, it's just, so much good stuff. There's The Last Jedi, a great film. People hate, though, Rise of Skywalker, an absolute garbage film. People seem to like. And then the best Star Wars film done in years, Rogue One. But just his stylization is just so on point. Every one of these characters has, the suggestion of the original actor and their features, but at the same time, just this fluidness to it. So, Mariah says, I need a team. Yeah, I think I've seen this. My husband probably talked about it. There you go. I'm not a lover of Star Wars. Everyone always dies. See, I tend to go Star Wars instead of Star Trek when I was a kid. Largely because, I just like stakes. I like the characters that have some sort of impending challenge that can put a damper on their day. Mind you, at the same time, I do like just the silly fun of somebody fighting a giant sponge creature. Good story. And it's the monomyth that Star Wars represents, the hero of 1,000 faces. Well done. They've tried. Zack Snyder's tried to do a sci-fi series on Netflix right now, and it was originally his pitch for him to do some Star Wars films. And I watched it, and it's spectacle. There's no story. There's tons of possibility of story, but he just forgot to put it in. I need a little more happy ending. Well, see, that's the end of the first one's supposed to be happy ending, or the end of the first, the original trilogy. But they just kept adding. And then they went and did the sequels, and where everything goes to pot. I'm like, man, I wish he had done his movies backwards. Yeah, Star Trek is it is fun. But no money? What world operates with no money? I couldn't buy that when I was a kid. Largely because I had no money and I needed it. When that sort of jades your assessment of something when you connect it to your own situation. And I think that's what I did with Star Trek. Also, no laser swords. If only Star Trek had like a Chewbacca. If they had like instead of Worf, if they had like some clearly extremely different alien than the crew, I would have just been crazy about that. I really enjoyed Battlestar Galactica, the original series. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Black Hole, which is So basic, but I just love that film. I've got Vincent and Bob toys, Maximilian toys here in the studio. Okay, so what I'm doing and how I'm putting together the drawing is that I'm thinking about the raised areas and drawing those as opposed to, so I'm looking for the shapes. Let's give it a smoke. You know, the light, the part where the light hits it. And that's my focus on how I'm approaching drawing this page. And as I put more opaque white down, more opaque lighter values, ideally it's to simulate raised the more raised surface, the pronouncement of the bottom lip and things like that. So lurking today, just wanted to say great drawing. Hey, thanks very much, Jim. Jim Luan, fantastic animator, absolute brilliant animator. Thanks for stopping in, Jim. Okay, so as I'm moving down, once I get a little more in here, a little bit more structure, and then we'll start putting all of our enhancements. So the idea is with the central image of our, world-weary traveler, I'm going to put little vignettes around the side, little panels showcasing different places that he's gone. And in Love of Sci-Fi, the suggestion, as I posted it, is a person who has traveled everywhere. Everywhere's awfully big. I think everywhere is farther away than Egypt. So I'm going to be playing with that idea a little bit. And some of his kit that he's going to have on him is going to suggest a little more of a sci-fi element to him. One thing Star Trek did that I really enjoyed, and it's only ever appeared in novels, in Star Wars, is there's archaeologists in Star Trek. There are people from the Federation in different places and through space where they're trying to learn about, the origin of planets and species and everywhere, man. Yeah, isn't that fun? It's a redo on an old Beatles song. I guess he'd be making all his everywhere plans for everybody. So I'm going to come in with some other mark making tools in a moment, punch up some of these values. Let's have some fun. Now, this China marker is much better at giving us a really, really clean white. If I have just grown nails for the first time in some while, and I'm still not quite good at how they work. That's ridiculous, I know, but well, there you go. That worked really well. Oh well, we use what we got. Okay, so hey, how you doing, Frank? Thanks for popping in and visiting. I'm lurking too. Uh-oh. Okay, so some of these I just want to put a couple of these little hits of white and see how this guy holds up. You know, I bought all these and was really excited to have found some. Let's see what they can do what I need them to do for us. Well, for a soft edge, you know, these have got something to them. Now, because they're waxed, they're going to operate as a resist, right? So if I try to put ink or water-based anything over top of it, it's going to interfere a little bit. That's kind of fun. All right, let's get in. Let's get in with some ink. Let's start making a mess. Jim says, is the portrait layout going to help with printing the next book? Jim, I don't know if you were here at the start. I'm just going to switch cameras for a second for those of you that have joined in. Hi. I have got an exciting thing to show you. There's today's page, the color and the black and white versions. Here's the new logo that is going on everything. I've added the word showcase, dramatic. And there's the cover for the new book. And so I've been reformatting pages and getting it all set. It's going to have a side binding, so you're going to have to turn the book sideways and look at the pages like this. But that's what I got. And then the back cover is already started there too. That'll have text on it and a testimonial that I got from, Jim Shooter and some others. Hello. Frankly says, you can call me Chiraco. Roll 4 is my father. Anyhow, so there's the cover of the new book. So working in the portrait format, the switch that I made recently to this is entirely because, I've in the last year, I did doing a page a day. And so in the last year or so, I have done about 500 pages now in that landscape format. So because of that, I needed a little shakeup. It's not to say that I'm walking away from the landscape format. Is this, I think this might be an acrylic ink, so it's not going to pull up for me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, whatever. So I'm going to put a little bit of Winsor Newton ink down here on this plastic palette that I use. I like using the plastic see-through palette because specifically that I can see through it, and sort of keeps the whole of a composition in mind for you when you're able to do that. So, all right. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to hit some access points, a little bit of glow up here. I tend to put pigment on and then tamp it a little bit. Just I don't know why I've always done it like this. It works for me. Pencil crayon just made a break for it. You see that? Put some of that hair in. Sorry, I'm missing the. Oh my goodness. There we go, Frank. Oh, it was a great shot, and I haven't been paying enough attention to it. I apologize. So I'm putting in some of these little accent areas on the face, little interesting points to move our eye around. I came across a really cool band yesterday. It's called the Idols Band. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with it, but they are crazy. I really enjoyed it. I've referred to them as putting a little pep in your step. I find as I'm getting older, I'm listening to a lot more easy listening music, but at the same time, I go to extremes. So it's either that or it's things like the Idols Band where they're just over the top. Television, that would be the song I would refer people to give it a shot if you want to check them out. Now, I could have also used an acrylic for this as well. So we'll see how this goes. Now, I've got some material here that you can see at the side, some paper stuffs, and I can put some of these into the surface as well. Just because I can, just to add a little bit of a hey now, what now to the overall image. Because I've laid down the image first, I got an idea where things go here. But I was saying that I didn't want to. I wanted to put the drawing area down first because it's a hassle to draw in pencil crayon on top of, matte medium. I'm not concerned about ripples or folds or anything like that with tissue paper when I'm laying it down. I use that. So he's got to read a book somewhere. On the other hand, I want to get struck by lightning. Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, Frank. No one's going to strike you with lightning here. So this is the paper packaging that some of these 11 by 17 white sheets that I've been using. This is what they came in. And I like putting this stuff in and then just having to incorporate it into the image. Also, I like when you run over, if you put down some matte medium, you put down some gesso or whatever it is, the ridges in your brush strokes when you brush over that with like a pencil crayon or something, can give you some really interesting textures as well. So Frank is saying, oh, you need the Montmartre clear texture gesso. Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that. Well, hello, new gesso. Yeah, the gesso I'm using is cheap and old. Chris, what do you have planned this Friday? This Friday, I'm doing a page for PM Artist Studio. I want to do a Traco stream soon with you. What about next week? Let's do PM. Chris will be doing P&M in a drawing way. Yeah, if you're up for it, Frank, how about next week? Can we schedule something there? Really honored. Thanks, Frank, for the offer. That's super cool. I'd love to spend some time hanging out with you. And you're welcome to, or you mean on yours? Do you mean on your stream, Frank? Chris is catching up, folks. So this is a Posca. This is a Posca. Yeah, that's a much nicer punchy white on that. Yeah, I'd love to have you on here too, Frank, if you're interested. Okay, this is a white gesso that I'm using now. I do not know what my cats are doing. Oh, I know what they're doing. I closed the door, so they're trying to get in. You can hear them carrying on out in the hallway. But I have a dehumidifier out in that hallway, and it makes too much noise, and you can hear it in the stream here. So close the door. They don't like that. They don't like it. So here's where I want to push some values a little bit. Just thinking about the adventures of PNM. I got some ideas for Friday, but I tend to just come at it just cold right there. Bow, hitting it in the moment. Keeps it inspiring. I do know how I'm going to start the page, though. My favorite, one of my favorite things with PNM Art Studios is when they harmonize at the beginning. I gotta get my cat to harmonize with me. I gotta get Corbin to even be here when I'm doing the stream on time. I'm trying to bring back the Draco Creative Cast, its new format. So I can guest line up. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, let's set up for you to come on next week, Frank, and I'll come on there next week. What time is your stream on Friday? 2 o'clock every day. 2 o'clock every day, unless it interferes with anybody else's that I want to check out. No. Be a little loosey-goosey, but Frank says people love that. It was just something we did a couple times and people started asking for it. Oh, there you go. Nice. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. 2 o'clock on Friday. And we'll see how much of this sucker we can get, that page that day we can get done. Sometimes I am at mercy to being a brittle type 1 diabetic. And so, but I always try to come in for a minimum of an hour and a half for folks. I spent a few minutes before today's stream trying to make sure my blood sugar was high enough. Also going to get Lori on the stream soon. For those of you that are familiar with my wife, she's going to do another book review. Woohoo! So this is really rough, this texture that I'm putting in with the gesso like this and smudging it out with my finger, but we're going to tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to cut out some of our guy. I'll be doing the same on the opposite side as well. So, I know that I get questioned about this. What is the point of putting down these different papers if you're just going to go over top of them in the composition and ignore whatever the value they add? Because to me, they are not, they put some complexity in the area, that area of the drawing, and maybe even some colors peeking through, but they're not what I want the reader to focus on. I want the reader to focus on the story that I'm trying to tell and the image that I'm trying to create. And so if they can just add a little bit of something, a little bit of hey now into the area, that's great. That's where things like the paper, the craft paper peeking through here, and the texture of the paper rippling through, and the discolorations that they cause, it just makes it a little more something for the eye to move around with. So, okay, perfect. See you then. We'll see you then, frankly. Thanks for hanging out. And Mariah says, I'll do my very best to be here. Oh, super cool. I'll have to get, Mariah, I'll have to get you to join me on the stream at some point. Come and hang out. Do some art. So this is blocking out the shape around his bag on his head that I'm doing here now. But not to, I want to leave space for this one panel to pop in here, and conversely for one on the opposite side as well. I could be using a larger brush. I'll tighten it up. Tighten it up as I go. But I want to do a little bit of spackling in here as well. And then I'm going to get a little more aggressive about pushing our whites and our blacks in the image. But I'm just trying to build up some fun here. This is just ink on a toothbrush that I've had for about 25 years. It's not much left of it. There's his hair. I'll be putting that in. Yeah, more of it on my finger than I did on the paper that time. I'm doing my best. I think you'll enjoy the texture gesso. I think I will too. I'm going to definitely check that out. You know that I'm the chatty one. Right? If you can out-chat me, you're going to get an award. Yeah, I don't. There's a thing I did for the Artcasters. They just did their 400th episode, and I was asked to do a video, congratulating them on their 400th, and in my video, at first I thought their show was, when I heard about Artcasters, I thought it was a show about art and fishing. It turns out it's about talking. I like talking, and I have got so many comments on admitting to I like talking. I wish I hadn't said that. That is funny. Okay. Okay, so there's a little bit of more interesting marks in the area here. And what I'm going to do now is I got this black pencil crayon. And so as much as I'm pulling up value by adding heavier and heavier white, I'm also going to push it back by little emphases on the highlight areas and the blacks. And I'm drawing this way, I kind of have an idea of where I'm going. And I completely recognize that it's sort of, it kind of looks like, well, where's he going with this? It's a little flat, But I know I'm going to be putting some punches in like this. Let me jump to the overhead, and you're going to let me, there we go. So you can see the black points here now should be pulling up the whites and pushing down the shadows. And then, of course, we'll do some even more emphasis on the white surfaces and pulling those up. Right, so it's going to background mode. Got to get gussied up. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out and chatting it up. Always welcome. People are interested in talking about what they got going on. You're always welcome to do that too. Not too hung up here. If people want to share and engage and stuff, by all means, you're more than welcome. Excited to hear about Frank getting back to doing a chat show about creativity. That's good. Especially since he's been maxing it up as the Toastmaster General down there in Texas. So hopefully you can start to see a little more depth, a little more shape, a little more dimension to what's going on here in the drawing. I've got what have I got here? Oh, that's the ink. The reason that I'm going to the gesso, or to the, you know what I'll put down? I'll put down some of this heavy body titanium white from Liquitex. Liquitex. More than just for Sundays. I got no idea what their marketing is for the product. Liquitex. It's not just for breakfast anymore. Yeah, so that's why I don't come up with the slogans here, folks. Like one of my sponsors. Oh, there you go. We're at in Texas, Frank. I think Frank, you're in Pharr, aren't you? One of my sponsors for the show is Bob's House of Fish. We stay open late for the halibut. Thanks very much for that, Bob. So this heavy body white has a real opaque value to it that I love being able to utilize this and add this to compositions. It's got that ease of use. You know, you put it down and it just, you know, there's not going to be any concern about too much translucence to it. I like that. I think I'm going to put the shape of that frame. I think I'm going to put the shape of this frame in here before I get too carried away. Too late. Where are you? Where's the sexiest ruler on earth? Here he is. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. This is a squaring ruler is what I call it. Honestly, if you are doing any illustration and you want easy squared lines, this is the ruler for you, because you can just, there's so many crossing lines on it that you can just edge off of anywhere. You know what, I might push this over to here. Yeah. So there's the shape, the space. It's going to be our first two places that he's visited. Yep. Happy. So that lets me know what I can fill in around. So next year, we are thinking about going down to Bethesda, Maryland. I'm going to apply to be in the SPX show down there in Bethesda, which is a show for independent illustrators. And if I get in, I'll be coming down to Maryland. I don't know how close that is to anything, but I'm hoping to see a whole bunch of people down there while I can. And I know I'm going to stop in Michigan and hang out with Paul Pate before I go down. So this is where I've left this space for this first panel, second panel to go in. And these images will be in and around our principal character here as examples of some of his adventures. Oh, I meant to continue that line over. I'll clean that up in a minute. So, starting to get some shape to this page. I'll pop this. Hi, Miriam. Welcome aboard. Pop the camera back so you can see what I was just referring to. So now that I've put in where the next two panels will be going in, it builds up some places for the eye to move, and more importantly, from some places for us to build up our story. Also, while we're at it, everybody needs to go over to check out Fakesplosion, Fake Bands, Real Music. Check out the YouTube link that's on the screen there, or just type in Fakesplosion and go check it out on YouTube. It's all the music that Jim Lujan has used for all of his animated films and more. And Jim's going to be adding more material to the station, to the channel. So very exciting. So there's his stylish headgear. And now it bleeds over the two panels. A lot of exciting things happening right now, folks. I hope that in whatever your creative journey is taking you on, that you're having some exciting stuff go on. And if so, feel free to share it. Everybody wants to hear about it. I got a whole bunch of paintings going on right now that I'm finishing, commissions that I'm finishing for people. And the studio is fully working right now. Just a busy, busy place. I wish I had, about 6 more hands. I got a long reach, but I don't have enough hands. Miriam says, "Isn't it fake news? I'll check it out anyways." It's some of the silly, ridiculous songs that, and some of the songs are really beautiful, but there's a lot of songs in his films that are quite comedic, and Jim records all of it because, in equal parts to the fact that Jim has done about 40 animations at this point, worked with Bill Plimpton on full feature film and all kinds of success and accomplishment, he's also equally as much a musician and a really talented one at that. So check it out, Fixplosion. I enjoy it. I play it in the studio here. Now there's songs that I might not play around the grandkids when they're over. Kids, I don't care. They're all adults. But okay, let's get this going a little further now. I'll come back in and tighten up some of our shapes and a little more complexity, but I got a lot of wet paint around here, and so it's time to move further down in the image. So let's get his hands in. What time we have? An hour 10. We're doing great today, folks. Paintings are in an auction for Miriam, February 1st to 5th. Good for you, Miriam. That's great. Yeah, Miriam has posted some of her paintings up on her Facebook, and pretty good. I like them. I promise that next week I will show a video of the larger studio because I talked about these paintings that I'm working on, and I've got a couple more to finish right now for a couple people, and as soon as those are done and out of the way, then I will show people the larger studio, because that's my background. My background is showing in galleries, and I've always enjoyed sequential literature and drawing that, reading comics growing up, and I've talked about this a great deal on the stream. But Lori found 3 completed books in the studio here. I'll show you an image. I can show you an image from one. Oh, nice. Miriam sold one of her exhibition paintings. That's great. The exhibition itself bought it. Oh, good for you. And Miriam's now streaming 3 times a week. I'll show you. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, here's a couple. I'm hoping the glare is not going to be too bad because of the light. But here's a couple of the drawings that I did for this one book that Lori found in a drawer. Is that going to turn out? I think so. This is it's called Credit River. And so I drew this in ballpoint. Sorry about that's a little better. In the water is coins. Get it? Credit River. Get it? That's one. And then here's another one I can show you. This is just another cover of one of my books. And that's mixed media. Big old field of wheat. So That's a couple of the things I have kicking around in the studio here from back in my exhibition days. So while I'm working on large paintings and drawings, I'm doing these. This is the stuff I'm scribbling on paper because I got an itch, I got a scratch, and so Lori found out the blue drawing is from a book that's 50 some odd pages, and then the Credit River one's another 35-page, 36-page book, and then just sitting there in a drawer. So that's why we started publishing books, and yeah. So this is drawing in his hand now. A little bit. I'm trying to give his fingers a little bit of a gnarly vibe. There we go. Oh, Miriam says, or Linda says, great drawing. Thanks very much, Linda. That's nice of you. The blue one is from the Trials of Apex book, and the Land of Hyacinth Blues is what the bridge is from. I'll show some more of those next week. So I got him half holding his strap here and half reaching for a cigarette. There we go. Tucking that thumb under there. You may even say hi to Linda. Yeah, lots of good things going on. That's good news. About the exhibition stuff, Miriam. That's good for you. Great. Got some drawing things set up that I'll be going to do. A couple of schools in the area here. How much are you going to offer to things here? Going to do anything of value? No. That was the Conte. I don't want to work in this drawing. Forget it. Where did I put? So this is pretty much the opposite. Applying white down on a black surface from yesterday's black down on a white surface. But it's all essentially the same. Now, I brought this forward because I'm going to do some of the hair. This is what some of these strange marks that I put down up here were. Be back to the chat in just a sec. Sorry about that. I hope you don't feel like I'm a man. Congrats on your success, Miriam. That's very nice of you, Linda. All right. So we've got more and more information coming together. This is the easy stuff, drawing silly sci-fi things is, I woke up this morning, fell out of bed and drew a sci-fi picture. I like drawing them things. But what we really want to get across is a weary traveler here. Now, when I scan this, I'm hoping that it picks up, these different blacks in the surface here. This is just Prismacolor black and white as far as the pencils go. I'll pull in on the closer camera, see if this reveals anything more. Whoops, wrong way. Hello. So hopefully now some of the interesting shadows are popping through here. Now I don't do solid lines and delineating the entire shape of a thing, because that is not how lines work, and definitely not how we perceive, the shadows as with our human eyeballs. And that's why I'm picking and choosing where I'm putting these shapes, these volumes of black. There we go. All right, get a little better. So I hope this has been interesting enough, It's a different way of working, but I have fun. So like I did over here, I'm going to come in using the side of the pencil to some of these soft blend lines. I'm going to put that on there. Tighten up this outline. So you can't really see this texture stuff that I put down here. It's sort of blending in now, but that's okay. Lawrence of Olivier. No, it's not, but you know. Thumbs up star. That's super cool. Thanks. Okay, so this leaves me with continuing his our principal character farther down into the page. Now, I think I'm going to make a transition for these next two panels on the sides. I'm going to put them over his person, and I think that I'll continue that motif on. So we've introduced him, and we've introduced the fact that these panels are going to showcase some of the places he's gone to. But now that we've done that, we can come in, you know, and the next panels that we're putting into the drawing go over him instead of the opposite way around. Just to keep it interesting, just to keep these shapes coming together into making a more interesting overall movement for the eye that still follows our primary purpose, which is telling the story. Why are all these adventurers are in a desert? I just mentioned desert. It's actually, he's in space. He's the suggestion today is a person, and I got some great ideas from Mariah here too, but the suggestion is a person who has traveled everywhere. And Tyrone, thank you very much for that. But so everywhere means far more than just local landscapes, or local landmarks. Now, I did local landmarks in the page about the magic frame that lets a person see all around the earth. So we've done a little bit of that. So now we're going to take it further. Let's push it by degrees. Whether the edge of our frames are perfect here, we can still, when I put it, I scan it and put it into the robot, I can, the photo of Shoppies, put nicer, tighter, crisply lined borders on our frames here. I'm going to put some more different kinds of paper in here as we go through. And some of these fun little bits of business that are in the paper, ideally, is going to start to tell us little things about the environment that we're going to put in those, like illustrate into those. So. The reason that I'm doing hatchy jobs with this little brush as opposed to using a nice bigger brush to just cover the area, I'm leaving little globs and things of paint just because it's more, when I paint over the nice flat coat of it, you can see all this little bits of information in there. And I like that. Out of this world. Let me pull the camera back out again. Should be able to see. There we go. A little more clear and understanding of how this page is coming together. And of course that's, so these panels sit behind our character. These panels sit in front of him. And I'm going to do a little bit more going across the bottom here and a broad panel there. So it's, you know, a couple different paths that we can take textually, but I think that having the text hop and skip and jump through here is going to be interesting and fun. Okay. A little bit here. One of the things with the application that I sometimes forget is that I'll apply paint down as though you're looking at it from a couple of feet back. So I'll put in, you know, splotch, right? And it denotes whatever it's denoting. But, you know, if this is meant to simulate a string or some sort of chord, you know, I'll do little marks like this. And when you look at them up close, it's like, what is that? Because, you know, I'm used to people standing back a foot or so. So I'm constantly having to tighten those up as I'm going through. Okay, so there we go. What are we at? An hour 30. Wow. So the rest of the image that I'm going to be drawing, I'll be putting in his hand here. And then I'll be putting in, you know, bits of information, follow through with these straps and where did they go and stuff like that, you know, fun in the sun. A couple other pieces of fun bits of information. Some more of these chords moving throughout. And of course, here is where, you know, the panel moves out and opens up into this space. So, you know, I'll just clock in a little bit on this tonight. Got a couple other things I got to get back to for that I'm also working on here in the studio. I am going to be doing a little bit of sponging into the image, and I'm going to be doing some more of the toothbrush through here and giving a little bit of information through his outfits and into these environments. And I'll be incorporating some of these papers into these areas. Just a little bit of more interesting stuff throughout. So buckle up. Enjoyed this. Well done. Thanks very much, Mariah. It's nice of you. And Miriam, nice of you as well. So there's where we are so far today. This has been good. But I have got to go and get a bite to eat before I get back to doing the things I need to do, because my blood sugar is it's not high. Let's put it that way. So thank you so much. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll show this. I'll post this up on Instagram and Facebook, and then I'll be working on a page tomorrow. We got a couple of fun suggestions on deck, like Sasquatch Civil War. I'm making my pages move around. And on Friday, we'll be doing the Adventures of PNM, which will be a lot of fun. And Thursday, of course, our good friend Doug Rogers will be stopping by. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. And I hope that everybody see you in a half an hour, Mariah. Bye, everybody. Thanks very much, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having fun, and love to see what you're doing with your creative journey. In the meantime, I will be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Oh, that's very nice, Mariah. Thank you. I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, and come and hang out some more. It's a lot of fun. All right. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye for now.